So we start off the second chapter with quite an epic introduction. Some guy just easily defeating someone who looked menacing enough and claims to have no more worthy foes left, ever so casually, like he knows he's that dude. He then kneels in front of the puppet emperor, and out of nowhere comes Dong Zhou himself. Should be expected for Dong Zhou to have some strong soldiers if he's confident in taking over, but that entrance takes it to the next level by letting you know the guy's probably really legit. Good way to build up some hype and anticipation, especially since Chen Mo felt the need to put a focus on him this early on, and it makes the next scene all that more impactful. Long live the mighty army of Ziliang really hits when you're looking at Dongzou's fierce ass facial expressions and knowing he got Mr. Casually the strongest on earth apparently by his side. You know he means that shit. He's expecting his army to live a long time. A very long time indeed. We then get some much needed exposition and it does its job. There are some fantastical elements to it, like the Chaos Ruled the World panel, and the way Xulin got introduced was very dope. There's also some explanation of justified moral conflict that led to this, which is a very nice tidbit to get until we get the grandiose speech from Big Dong himself. But overall, it does feel like a bland summary, which I guess is fine in a sense if you want to rush through some things and get to the parts of the story you want to tell if what you're going to get to is super interesting. It isn't easy to tell these events in a riveting way without spending much time on them after all. And I'm not sure how I'd handle it personally, didn't feel like putting too much thought into it, but it still doesn't necessarily feel right to me that it's basically just a bland summary. Ravage is very eloquent, wordy, and poetic after all. I'm sure Chen Mo could have thought of something better if he really cared to. Maybe it's a Chinese thing they like to do, like when Kingdom summarizes events. I'm not sure. But I felt like there could have been more done with this, and I still maintain that the first chapter kind of suffers from this as well. Despite getting more exposition right after, the first chapter wasn't really handled in a way that built much intrigue to where in the moment you like the fact that you're casually left in the dark and I couldn't wait to get more. When I got more exposition right after, I was just like, all right, cool. The plot at this point isn't really capturing me, and first and early chapter impressions are very important, but it being Ravages, it's easy to not care about this as you read on because there's so much to like about pretty much every chapter. I'm really harping on this because it's always been interesting to people that read Ravages that a lot of newbies get disinterested quick and don't give the series a real chance. And this, as well as character names being forgettable, names of locations being forgettable, which causes confusion, being confused in general for one way or another, and not being super interested in the plot definitely doesn't help that. I had someone tell me he was confused on why he's confused, I'm pretty sure. There are some hurdles to being immediately gripped by the story, but it's definitely worth pushing through these early chapters. But getting back to the chapter itself, after Xulin's cool introduction, we get some more talk on the importance of money, and of course it's not going to mundanely get into specifics, but I think it's worth repeating that it is cool to see the different ways genius can be applied, especially when most other stories have it as a factor in a nonsensical manner, or just don't put much importance or any importance on it. It's really cool to see how many factors Dong Zhou's faction has considered in their attempt at gaining power, and how even something like gathering funding, they found unique, praiseworthy ways of unexpectedly gaining a lot of it, and that it'll pay great dividends in the future. It also is pretty funny how they're shitting on Sima Yi, and we get the you done fucked up moment right after. Apparently, Sima Yi knew the exact method of travel Xulin would take and the exact route at the exact time. Someone might call convenience and lazy writing to this, but Ravages consistently shows high level strategical prowess, so the conveniences don't feel like it's an ass pull, even if there's no explanation, which there usually is. It's within the rules Ravages has consistently set, so it might seem surprising here, but expecting something like that degree of competency in information gathering is the norm, and there's always more to the situation that adds intrigue to the plot, so it doesn't feel like the conveniences make things mundane or that the plot is always on a knife's edge of one lazy convenience away from everything getting resolved in an unsatisfying way. Someone could see this for the first time and not really be thrilled at it, but me personally, even with just the little tidbits of strategy we got, I had an understanding of what I said probably being the case, and I really enjoy this moment. Seeing how meticulous their trap was and seeing the menacing looking dude with the ball and chain got me hyped. I was like, oh shit, it's about to get real now, huh? You know they ain't playing no games. And I only got more excited seeing Sulin having basically no reaction to this. And we get a great cliffhanger, getting another powerful factor in this fuckery, and with him doing cool guy things 101 with how casual he's being about the situation, and the witty remark to add a bit of personality to the moment. It's really exciting to see how these three powerful players will interact, to say the least.